Go, Dave. That's okay. You can say it loud.
We still have the winner of the last promo we ran for Name the New Character.
We do. Let's
We'll
talk
get to
about
that.
that real quick.
What we got going on. We'll get to that.
Yeah, hold on real quick. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for hanging in there with us, Ike Live. This is like a mega show. It always turns into a mega show right before the Ike Foundation event. And we're playing musical chairs on the co-host seat tonight. And joining me, real good friend of mine for years and years and years, really great guy, Kevin Short joins us, everybody.
Thank you,
Kevin, how are you?
I am better than I deserve.
Good to see you.
Yep, good to be here, man.
Good to see you. I like this, what I'm seeing right here. Brian Carpenter.
What, the promo code?
No.
Oh. Barefootedness.
Promo code.
There's
a lot of,
oh my God.
We've seen a lot of funky shoes in this studio. We've seen a lot of socks in this studio, like weird socks. But right here, for the first time, beautiful, smooth, silky bare feet. Thank you, Kevin.
Hey, always got to bring something to the table.
That's right. That's right.
Mike, we already have an active IM on Kevin. Ready to copy?
That's
that
scary.
quick? Wow.
That's scary.
I am that quick. It's been quiet all night.
People been waiting.
And you sit down
shit.
and it pops up. Dave Bronzik, what do we got on IM for Kevin Short?
From Kevin Shorts Shorts.
Is it like out of
Kevin
my shorts?
Short's feet.
What?
Tell me all about it, bro. There's absolutely no room in here. And when he crosses his legs, it's absolutely nuts.
What the hell does that even mean?
Brian McDonald, who's a cop, said the shot spotter may pick it up. In the city, they have shot spotters where if a gunshot goes off, there's telephone poles rigged with these sounds that pick up the gunshot and they know where it's coming from. Say when you cross your leg,
Wow.
shot spotter will pick it up.
Wow.
Whoa. I don't. Yeah. What? How do you even answer that?
I have no
What?
idea.
I don't even know what it means.
The fans of Ike Live.
What was the question for the question?
The people
Was
been
there a
waiting for you,
question
Kevin
there?
Short.
I don't even think there was a question.
I don't think
more
there
like
was.
just a
I think it was
comment.
just a statement.
Right off the giddy.
Yeah.
Right off the giddy. Let me remind everybody watching, and it was great to start with that. We want to hear that stuff. We know who you are.
You sure?
Hit us up.
Sure.
Hit us up
You
on the.
sure
I don't
wanna
know.
hear
Maybe
that?
not. Hit us up on the IM. Questions, comments for anybody in the room, like Carl, Kevin, anybody. Ron's still here. Ron's hanging out drinking. You got a question for Ron? Hit us up. Also hit us up on our social feeds. I'm checking periodically at Ike Live Show, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. First things first, Mr. Kevin Short. Thank you for fishing with us this year. I'm so excited to have you.
Yes.
I
Yes.
wanted to do this since the very first one. It's just, the schedule,
Yeah.
timing.
Yeah.
Dude, it's all about timing, and the schedule has just never worked out. And
Yeah.
I am really happy that it worked out
Dude,
this year.
thank you.
That's
Thank you.
great. Hey, not my pleasure. My pleasure.
Here's an interesting thing, because a lot of the guys that fish with us, have fished with us every year, they do it because they love to support kids fishing.
Sure.
And they're good dudes. We've timed it with an event here in the Upper Chesapeake. They're in the area.
Right.
And from a lot of them guys, Brian and Carpenter, back me up on this, they hear, man, God, we got to go back to that Delaware. And they kind of shake their head because they know it's a challenging tidal river fishery.
Right.
But I didn't hear that from you. I heard a different tone. Tell me a little bit about what you expect. And let me preface it by saying, everybody watching, if you remember the last time we were here in Elites, Kevin Short had a great event last time. So tell me a little bit about it. Wow, special guest has popped in.
Check it out.
Are you Mario or Luigi? Are you Mario or Luigi?
Well, he's got a big M on the top, so I'm thinking Mario.
Mario, how you doing,
Yeah.
Mario?
What's up, Mario?
I see the M.
M for Mario,
It's
yeah.
pretty good. Before Kevin answers this question, do you want to tell us what you've got real quick? What are these? They're trophies. Okay. What do you got? Show.
Oh,
You see
wow.
that
Check
camera
it
right
out.
over there, Vegas? See
Yeah,
that
right
one
here.
in that corner? Pick them up and show them. And tell everybody what each of these trophies are. Yeah.
13 times, I think.
13 goals for a
Wow.
soccer trophy. Good job.
All right.
Congratulations.
So the first soccer one was 10, and then the next day was 10 again.
10 again. Okay, so 20,
Wow.
but 13 overall. I like it. Okay, what's the
And
second one?
I got 5 more then.
Wow.
Dang.
Nice.
Good job. Good job.
This
And
is the real special
what's the
right
second one?
here.
I
Yeah.
like this one because it's got a fish on it. What is this
Yeah.
for?
This one is when my grandma, when to give me it because she always sees me catch lots and lots of fish and bass.
Wow. So your
Nice.
grandmother gave that to you for catching a lot of fish and bass. Very good. Good job.
All right, man.
Congratulations, Vegas. Congratulations. Have a good night's sleep tonight. Hope you have sweet dreams. Good night, bud.
See you, Mr. Vegas.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
Wow. I love that outfit.
That's pretty cool.
That may be my new tournament outfit next year.
You think they got those in our size?
I don't know. That would be awesome. Fishing out of
Pretty
one
cool.
of those things.
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
they're pretty cool.
I want to get back to it. So a lot of guys are kind of like, Delaware River. But you had a good event last time we were here. And
I did.
I definitely sense a different tone coming here and fishing a challenging tidal fishery. Tell me a little bit about that.
Whenever the elite schedule would come out, dude, I would always look for those, what other guys would think would be like the crap tournaments.
Yeah.
The really tough tournaments.
Yeah.
And because when everybody else is going, oh man, damn, we got to go to that place again.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm thinking, hell yeah,
Yeah.
I can catch them there.
Ohio River, Sabine River.
man, Sabine River, Mississippi River,
Yeah.
all of the Red River.
Yeah.
Man, all those places where it's tough, it's nasty. You're usually going there when it's hot and sweaty.
Yeah.
You got sweat running down the back of your knees,
Yeah.
that kind of crap. Dude, I'm digging that because, that very first morning after guys have gone out and practiced for like 2 or 3 days
Yeah.
and they gotten like 2 bites and they're like, oh man, I am not going to catch him. I'm thinking in my head, hell no, you ain't going to catch him because I am, man. Because you
You're
got,
flipping it on them.
you got like 50 guys out of 100 that are
Yeah.
like, dude, that first morning they're done.
They're out of it
They're
already.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you only got to beat 50
Yeah, and that happened to a lot of guys the first time we were here in
yeah.
Delaware.
It did.
It happened
It did.
to a lot of
because
guys.
the bites were real. It wasn't like you went out.
The
and got-
windows are small.
the windows are
Yeah.
very small, and you got to be in the right place. You got to want to do. It's typical tidal fishing. You got to do one or two things. You either got to you got to find a place that has fish
And camp,
and power pull down and just camp.
fish the tides,
Or-
fish through the tides.
Yeah, exactly. Or you have to understand the tides well enough and, like yourself, understand where you need to be and when you need to be there.
Right.
Now, most guys that have never been here before, they don't have that experience.
Yeah.
So for a guy like me coming in here, I've got to find, a creek, a bay, or
Yeah.
a section of the river, whatever,
Yeah.
and say, okay, I got a few bites here. I've just got to stay right here and ride it out. And the crazy thing is, the tide swing here is like, dude, it's like no place I've ever been.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
It's
5-6 foot.
It is.
Easy.
And that's on a
Easy.
normal. That's
And
on
that's
a normal.
on a
tide.
normal. That's not even on a full moon.
Yeah.
That's just a normal tide
Yeah.
swing is like 6 foot, and I'm like, holy crap! 6 foot for most places.
How did you adjust to that when the first time you saw? Because you're a river guy, but you're an Arkansas river guy. You're a river guy where there's level changes, but not twice a day.
Not 6 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not they might change like 6 or 8 inches
Right.
or maybe a foot.
Right.
The everywhere that I've ever been, whether it's the Potomac, the Upper Chesapeake, here, anything that's tidal, I've always done the best, man, when I found an area that had everything.
Right.
It had places that they could go, that the fish could go when the tide came in, and it had places that the fish could go to when the tide went out.
Right.
That bay that we fished, God, when was it? Like 06, 07 on the Potomac, Broad Creek.
Oh, Broad Creek.
When we were,
Oh
when we were-
yeah.
yeah.
We played. We
It's got
meet each
everything.
other. In the
Yeah,
same
we'd meet
spot
each other
every
in the
day.
same clump of grass,
Yeah.
and you'd go back that way, and I'd go back. Well,
Yeah.
that place, I mean, it had everything.
Everything.
It had grass, man.
Yeah.
It had docks. It had
Yeah.
wood. It had places when the tide came in and got
Yeah.
high. Dude, they'd go up to the bank,
Yeah.
When the tide went out, it had all those clumps of grass. They'd go out around that grass.
Filter out.
That's the kind of stuff that, I've learned that, if you don't know it well enough, if you don't know a river system well enough,
Yeah.
that's what you got to find.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it works out for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't, you
Yeah.
know?
Is that the ultimate goal? is to find an area, not just in tidal water, but I noticed in a lot of your wins over the years, you found an area and you maximized it to the best. Mississippi River comes to mind.
Yep.
Pickwick comes
Pickwick
to
was
mind.
the same.
Is that the ultimate way to catch them? To find an area and then maximize it?
You know, that's hard to say because there's been, I mean, I've done really well in tournaments where I've found like 4 or 5 areas.
Right.
And been able to like run back and forth between the 4 or 5 areas and do really, really well. And then that's I guess that's what separates. I mean, I know it's kind of cliche, but that's what separates the men from the boys. Because you have to know when
to camp and when to run.
Exactly.
Right.
And dude, that is like the hardest question in the world to answer because it totally depends. And sometimes you get it right, and sometimes you fuck up and you get it wrong.
Right.
Man. You know?
I reckon the best answer for that is if you don't know the river, like if you haven't lived and breathed in that river your whole life,
Yep.
camp.
Yep.
If you know it, you can run. But
Yep.
even if you know it over a couple of years,
Yeah.
you still don't know enough to be able to like just hit perfectly on time and then have enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
But see, and you say that, but I've
But-
done, I think the first Open that I won, I had 3 different areas that I could rotate between between the 3 days of the
Yeah.
Open, and I'd catch 1 or 2 here, and I'd catch 1 or 2 here, and I'd catch 1 or 2, and it took all 3 areas.
Let them rest and then
to
come back
catch
and
the
do
5.
the same deal.
Yeah,
again.
to be able to catch the 5 that
Yeah.
it took to win.
Yeah.
And that was a place I'd never even been before. I mean, it was
Yeah.
the first time I'd ever been there.
Yeah.
So it's, and that's one of those times when everything, when all the pieces clicked,
yeah.
Yeah.
and everything worked out well. And
Yeah.
that doesn't, dude, they see guys, they see guys win, like Van Dam, they see guys win like, 1 a year, whatever, 2 a year, whatever.
Yeah.
And they think, oh, well, shit, that's easy.
Yeah. Super difficult.
No.
Super
Dude, it is
difficult to win
tough.
an event.
It is really,
Yeah.
really tough. Yeah, like this right here.
They're hard. Blue trophies are hard to get.
Blue trophies are really hard to get.
They're hard to
man.
get. Blue
They're really hard to
diamond
get.
pills are a lot
Oh.
easier to get.
Blue diamond.
You can
hills
get
are
those anywhere.
really- yeah, you can get those. Yeah,
Dave takes them every day.
we can go to that down to the CVS and get those.
They're
yeah.
really easy to get.
Ain't no
Carl,
problem.
did you experience any of that crazy tidal fishing back in Australia? Anything with that huge tidal swing?
Yeah, just not in anything fresh water, just all in the salt water. So we
Right.
got our biggest actually tournaments are for a brim, and Kevin's been over there and he's fished for them. And they're a saltwater fish, but we use all the bass boats, like all the American bass boats, get imported for the brim. And the main reason is the brim are sort of almost Australia wide, so they could run tournaments like all over
Right.
the coast, where Australian bass are only in 2 of our states up the east coast, certain areas, and the barramundi are the same. They're in certain areas just up north and super remote, where the brim are on the coast. So they got an audience, they got people, they got the city right there.
Yeah.
So bass and barra lakes are in the middle of nowhere, but the brim had big tide fluctuations. So
swings.
that's where I learnt sort of in that every tidal fish is almost identical with how the tides work, where they set up when it's low,
How they
and
eat, how they move.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
very similar. Now that's a great segue. You mentioned boats, and Kevin, you were in Australia, and I want to relive some of this conversation we had at dinner the other night, because it was fascinating to hear about it, because some of these species are on my bucket list, but a lot of guys know already that you've been with Bass Cat,
Right.
working with these guys, but
Right.
what are you doing right now professionally, and why were you in Australia with Carl and Kayla? Why were you over there?
Well, I went to Australia because Kayla went to Australia.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good answer.
Come on.
Kevin and I are like this.
Yeah.
Good answer.
When I left the Elite Series, honestly, when the last tournament was done, I did not have a job. I didn't know. I had been offered a job at that point.
Yeah.
With a tackle company, and I was actually several weeks after the last Elite tournament. I was actually talking to Rick Pierce about this other job, and Rick's president, and his dad and mom founded Bass Cat.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this other job, and Rick's like, well, if you're looking for a job, man, I really need somebody that can do international sales for Bass Cat and Yarcraft boats. And I'm thinking, and dude, I honestly had not even, I hadn't even thought about that.
Wasn't even on the map.
It wasn't even on the radar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, international sales. That would be like, and I'm like, well, okay, where would my territory be?
Right.
And he's like, well, everywhere in the world except the United States.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, holy crap, man, we could sell some boats out there, So, and we already had, at that time, we had just opened, a dealer in Australia, Craig Simmons down in Australia, and we had a dealer over in Japan. On Lake Biwa, we had just opened them. Yep. So, we are, and we'd been selling boats in Canada for, gosh, I don't know, probably 12, 15 years already.
Yeah.
So, it was just kind of like, Carrie and I talked about it, and it's like, yeah, I think we probably need to do that.
Yeah.
And I've never had a true like sales job. Obviously the Elite Series, you've got to sell yourself, all that kind of stuff. But I've never had like a sure enough sales job. But this is like something that's like so totally different, because it's something that I know the product really well. I know what the product will do, what it won't do, because I spent so much time in it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's almost easy to sell. It's easy because it's an easy job because I lived it and breathed it for like 12 years.
The product.
Yes. So it was a really easy move just to kind of move over into that. The worst part of the job is not only do I have to do sales for the international aspect of Bass Cat and Yarcraft, but I also have to ride herd on all of the tour level knuckleheads.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that's the worst part of it.
Crap, man! You talk
damn needy pro staff.
You talk about some damn prima donna bastards.
Yeah,
Holy crap!
Guys are all
the nice thing is, after doing that job for 12 years, I can say, you know what? There ain't nothing that you can do. There's no BS that you can throw at me that I can believe.
That's right.
I've been there.
It all.
I've done it.
That's right.
Just don't even try.
That's funny.
But it's really cool because I still get to keep in touch with what's going on.
Yeah.
On the Sure Enough tour side.
Yeah.
Of of the sport.
Keeps you connected.
And, it keeps me connected. And like last fall, I went down and to Australia and fished the very first Australian Open.
Yeah.
For bass. And dude, that was cool. That was the very first tournament in Australia that they had ever had that they could keep and weigh 5 fish.
Wow.
Okay. And it was pro only.
Wow.
No co-angling. That was the first time that they had ever done that in Australia. And it was really cool, man.
Very cool.
These guys, it is so crazy to think, because the bass, everything that they fish for down there, even though they use the same tackle, the rods, reels, a lot of the same baits and everything, dude, it's a totally different fish.
Yeah.
They don't have bass like we have bass.
Right.
They don't have spotted bass, they don't have smallmouth, no largemouth. It's a totally different fish. And they fish for them kind of similar, but then kind of different.
Right.
So it's really, really interesting. The little brim that Carl's talking about, man, we fish for those with like 2 pound freaking leader.
2 pound test.
2 pound test.
2 pound leader too.
Leader.
On braid.
Yes. Yeah, and like 5 pound braid.
That's insane.
And I'm
when you guys were talking about this at dinner the other night, I was just like, this is insane.
Oh, it was blowing me away.
That's what they do. It's
Yes.
normal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, and what Kevin said, he went to 4 pound, couldn't get a bite.
Zero
They
bites.
were reckoning
Yeah,
Zero
too.
bites on 4 pound.
we were fishing like these boats that were like anchored, on the big anchor lines that they have.
Yeah.
So we're fishing, and the fish are like suspended either up underneath the boat or along the anchor line or whatever. So it was real easy for one of them. And these brim are like white bass
Yep.
on steroids.
Okay.
And you got them hooked on 2-pound line.
Wow.
With like a rod that's like, I mean, it's like the lightest trout rod you've ever picked up in
every
your life.
rod Aaron Martin owns.
Like every rod that Aaron Martin's ever owns, dude. It is like we have like ultralight.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
These are like nanolight.
Wow.
Nanolight. Okay.
Ron Champion, you're going to be throwing 2-pound tests in the tournament?
2-pound test, baby.
He's shaking his head no.
Oh yeah.
Off camera.
So I break off my little crab on my, they got these little like imitation crabs that are like real lifelike and everything. So I break off my little, and they're like $30 a piece, So I break this thing off, and I'm like, well, I'll just grab this other rod. And the guy that was fishing with Steve Morgan's like, oh well, that one's got that one's got 4 pound on it, mate.
That's for the heavy one. That's for the heavy.
Yeah, that's
stuff.
for the heavy stuff. He said, you're probably not going to get any bites on that. And I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Right. It's
What the hell do you know, man?
Yeah.
Never got not a smell.
Dude, that's a picky fish.
Not a sniff.
That's a smart
and
fish.
he's standing up on the front deck, and he's like steady catching them.
Wow.
So I'm like, FTS. Put that down.
Yeah.
2 pound back on.
Yeah.
Started catching them again.
Carl, have you ever experienced that where you're out there
yeah.
and you're using 3 or 4 and you're not getting a bite?
Yeah, that's what I did my whole career.
That's
so
insane.
for bass, like we were catching, for bass, they get even bigger in around structure, and you had to get down to 4 pound leader a lot for our big bass. And the reason I'm sitting here right now is because the first tournament I ever fished in the US was on Lake Mead in the US Open.
Yeah.
And it was a paired draw deal, and I was a co-angler, came over, brought all my Aussie tackle, brought my spin rods and all this. This is nearly 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was tying the FG knot, which no one had even heard of over here. And I was using 20-foot leaders, and I had 2 pound braid with 4 pound leader and 4 pound braid with 6. And everywhere I cast, I caught fish. And it was a shared weight deal, and I caught all my fish for the first day pro, all my fish for the second day pro, and then I drew Fred on the third day, and he just got on these banks, and I was drop shotting with 4 pound and just started catching him, and then a dart head with a curl tail, and he was just freaking out. And then he took me to another spot, big heavy grass beds through there with 2 pound braid, 4 pound leader, and caught big bass of the tournament, and it had me in the grass. And Fred was freaking out, and I was like, "It's right, I'll get it out. We'll just hold on to it." And it was 4 pound leader, and I got it out. It was like 4 3/4 or something. Landed it and got big bass, and I came second in the as a co and got big bass. But because of that, is why I'm sitting here, because I thought, if all of America's like this, then I'm like, I'm all good. Next minute, I'm in the Red River going, what am I doing?
Yeah, not quite the same.
Yeah,
it's crazy. That's crazy. How cool was it though? Fishing for all those other species. I know, Carl, you kind of take it for granted because you grew up fishing barramundi, GTs,
cod, the Murray cod,
the Murray cod.
Yeah.
Dude, I look at these things on social media and I'm drooling to have a chance.
What?
We interrupt this important broadcast to bring you a special request from the viewers of Ike Live. The viewers of Ike Live are requesting that Bats Cat donate a fully rigged boat to the first viewer that can supply Kevin Short with a pair of socks. Hudley Crockett out.
Wow, that's cold. That is cold.
He's not letting up. He's not letting
Darn
up.
it, man.
Wow.
Oh, fully rigged bass cat. Great.
First viewer that can throw out a pair of socks.
Right, a free pair of socks.
I guess we got to give the address out.
Give the address. Give the P.O. box. Take a while to get over
Mike, do you
there.
have any PSAs?
What the hell is it talking about? So I see all these species on social media. Dude, I totally threw me off. I can't even remember what I was talking about. Wow. How cool was it, though? Because Carl's fished for him his whole life, but first time catching a lot of those, the barramundi. What was? Tell me about that experience.
Well, that was really cool.
And I want to know about your experience about seeing him and Carrie catch him for the first time.
Carrie.
Yeah.
That was
No joke.
That was
Cleaned
what was
up
yes.
the whole field. It was
That was what was
Wow.
cool was watching Carrie catch the. I mean, she caught like the first. I think she caught the
The
first
Uh-huh.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the very first one, and then she caught another one. I think the next day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that that was cool because that's that is like it's the best swim bait bite that you'll ever have because you know how big the fish is.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not fishing for.
No, these things are giant.
No, dude, these things are. They're like a meter 10.
Yeah. 40,
Yeah.
50, 60
40,
pounds
50.
plus.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. They're like 35, 37 inches
A
long.
lot like the big ocean run stripers that we're catching
Yes.
on the East Coast.
Yes, it is
But,
like.
in a lake with pads and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
An update to an early news flash. Brian McDonald requests that the best cat be wrapped with the images of Kevin Short's legs.
Who is this? Brian who?
Brian McDonald.
Brian McDonald.
Wow, he wants it wrapped.
Who's Brian
I have
McDonald?
no idea.
We could get a sick shot of those pins, though.
Brian needs to get a life.
Hold on. With eyeglasses and kneecaps.
That's a creative rap. Call Mike from VFX and get him down here. It's easy. It's done.
I really think Brian needs to get a girlfriend. I'm just saying.
No, but these fish are massive. These fish are massive, and you guys are catching them with swim bait.
Swim baits. Yeah, it's a slick rig. It's like I think we were using like either 3/4 or
about
1
an
ounce.
ounce,
Yeah, 1 ounce jig heads, and a little treble hook stinger.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just a real simple little swim bait. And dude, I mean, the whole key to it is throw it out there as far as you can. Let it, and you got to count it down. The first cast, you might count it down to 15, wind it back in real slow. Next cast 20, next cast 25, and I mean, you're just winding this thing in, and the fish bite it so fast. It's not like any largemouth or spotted bass or smallmouth bite
Right.
that you've ever had. The very first bite that I had, I mean, I throw it down there, I count it down to like 25, whatever, and I'm winding it back in real slow, and I feel like a little tick.
Yeah. Think.
And Carl's like watching my line. He's like, "Mate, you just had a bite.
Got to swing.
You got to swing."
You saw it before.
Oh yeah,
he saw
yeah.
it.
He saw the line jump, and before I could, it was over.
Yeah.
So I wind in my bait,
Oh my God.
and no shit, this far in front of my swim bait
Yeah.
up the leader, it's frayed all the way down.
Whoa.
And that fish, I mean, he had come up behind, sucked it
Sucked
in,
it, yeah.
and blown it out just that fast.
Wow.
So I mean, I was just blown away. So the next one. Dude, the next one I was swinging at like Stevie Wonder with a lightsaber. I'm just telling you.
And he got
I
it.
mean, as soon, oh yeah,
Wow.
dude, as just, I mean, it was like I was using the force, and I'm telling you, I mean, it was like, okay, he's breathing on it, swing,
Yeah.
just that fast.
Right.
I mean, but that's what during that bite,
Yeah.
that's what you have
So-
to do.
Wow.
That's why any Aussies that come over, and that's what like it literally took me 2 or 3 years to get past it
Yes.
here in America. Any Australian, every single one that comes over and fishes with me or just fishes, they just have so much trouble because they'll be fishing a jig. You tell them about it, and they get that bite, and they'll just like
And they
it'll
pull
go
it away
donk,
from 'em. Yep.
and
Wow.
they miss every fish, and
Yeah.
it
Right.
takes years to like. I had to retrain my brain.
I'm the opposite. I can't
And-
catch a barramundi because I'm sitting there waiting for
So
him
then-
to eat it.
So then
And I'm
Right.
like, oh, I got a bite. And he's like,
Nope.
oh, you lost it.
Right.
Kayla fished
Had
for
a
6
bite.
days straight
Yeah.
for him, and she'd be winding, doing everything perfect, and then she'd go, "Oh, I got a bite," and then I'd be like, "Set!" And then it was too late. Like I'd
gone.
yell at her because she was like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
got one," and she wanted to drop back
Carl's
like a
Yeah.
large
very
mouth.
passionate about fishing. He gets very upset if he wants to fish.
Yeah, it was because they're just fish. I just wanted Kayla to feel
Yeah.
that experience of
Yeah.
like an uncontrollable
Now,
fish.
did you
but
eventually catch one?
Oh,
No.
no.
She
Carrie,
did- she
went
Carrie
out-
came in and
To
just
date?
cleaned him up.
To date, you have not caught
Nah.
one.
No,
Wow.
she fished
Oh, it
6
was
days
rough.
straight. I burned her out.
I
She
was
like,
upset. I sat down and drank rum cans and ate sweet chili chips because I was done.
Wow.
And like Carrie.
But
like
then we
Carrie
went
fished.
offshore, and she first dropped. She caught a
First
50-pound
cast,
kingfish,
kingfish.
offshore.
Kingfish. Nice.
Oh, it was lovely.
That was cool.
I'll
Yeah.
take that.
I wonder
Yeah.
which is harder, adjusting, coming from Australia and setting hook quick and adjusting to a delayed hook set, or coming from the States, adjusting to a quick hook set?
Which
Which is harder?
I think Carl. Well, I got to tell you, after going over there a couple of times and fishing for for several different species, I have a whole lot more respect for guys that grow up over there fishing for those species, fishing those techniques.
Yeah.
That they're similar, but yet they're really different.
Right.
I have a lot more respect for a guy like Carl that comes over here and learns how to catch our fish.
Right.
I felt like going over there. I felt like I could compete. Okay. But on the flip side of that, a guy coming over here, he's screwed, man. He's got a lot of work.
He got a lot to learn.
He's got a lot to learn. He really, really does.
Yeah.
Because a lot of their fish over there are extremely aggressive. They run in packs. So they're, they eat, they're very, they fight, for their food.
Yeah.
And what we think's busy lake is just like, when I go home, it's like
shit.
It's like going to no man's land. Like, there's just no one out. There's no one.
You can see the other side of the lake. Here
Small
you go to
lakes
Toledo and you're like, where the hell do you even go? Like, where do you start?
Well, if there's 10, 15, 20 boats on a lake, everyone's freaking out. Where if I go back, I'm like, there's no one on the lake.
You
What's
couldn't
going on?
fit 200 boats on a lake there. You couldn't fit 100.
No. No, if there was the lakes that the dams that we went to, that's what they call them. They're not they're like
dams.
They're dams.
Yeah.
The dams that we went to. If there was another vehicle in the parking lot, Craig or
Steve.
Carl.
What the fuck's your name? Carl? Craig or Carl or Steve or whatever. They would look at the truck, look at the trailer, and they're like, oh, well, that's Tomo.
Oh,
they would know who it
Everybody
was.
knows everybody.
And there would be one truck or one trailer in the parking lot.
Yeah.
One.
Didn't we pull up
Not
that
50.
one? There was
Wow.
like 2, and Carl was
Two,
like,
and they're
damn,
like,
it's
what the
busy.
hell? This place is crowded.
Packed in here.
Yeah.
Don't nobody
Yes.
work around here.
Yeah.
So
Well, two
dude, it's-
trailers in the parking lot sounds like a Thursday nighter. Here
Exactly.
in South Jersey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, we've
it's
had
pretty crazy.
26 boats on Newton.
Is that true?
Yeah, we had 26 2 weeks ago on Newton.
Wow.
Mike, are you ripping on Brian's compelling decision to bring in the beer league live on the show, or
no,
what are you doing?
like I said, it's more exciting than a Bass Open or FLW weigh-ins for sure.
By the way, the Cowans won with 7 pounds.
7 pounds.
17 pounds at Cooper River.
17 pounds at Cooper River. So everybody good at Cooper River.
Get out of here.
Wow.
Yeah,
Stop
17.
playing. Kevin, I gotta ask you this because I know I thought about it. I know some of our viewers and listeners are thinking about it.
The promo code?
No, not the promo code yet. We're saving that for the end. You're
I might not look like much, but I bet we could go out behind the barn. I'm just saying.
We could tape it. Eric could tape this. This would go viral.
Kevin Short ready to fight.
You're retired, but that's kind of a loose term. Retired from competitive fishing.
Hang on just a second. Let me just tell you.
It's a loose term.
Retired was a handy little word that Bass used.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't figure out how to say, he's tired of putting up with our bullshit.
Wow. Well,
they couldn't think of a politically correct way to say, he's tired of us, screwing with it.
Well, there's 80 out of the 110 that would like to retire then.
There you go. All right. So I'm sorry for interrupting.
Okay, that's all right. Retired. It's a loose term, but do you miss the competition on the elite side? And what do you miss most about the elites?
Honestly, and seriously, no BS.
Yeah.
The things that we and when I say we, I mean myself and Carrie.
Yeah.
The things that we miss the most are probably the people.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that we miss, like you and Becky, Carl and Kayla, the Kennedys, the list, the Tharps.
Yeah.
Dude, we keep in touch with those. We go visit them. We see them when we can. That's from an us standpoint, that's probably what we miss the most.
Yeah.
The competition, yeah, I kind of do, but I still get to fish still fish the Open, still do MLF. I get to go and fish like the Australian Open.
Yeah.
So the competition side of it is, but for me personally, it was time to do something else.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, I was getting, I'm not going to say burnout, but I was getting to where mentally I felt like, to move forward, I really needed to go and do something else. So I have no complaints. It worked out well for me.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I can definitely relate to that feeling of.
You can only. I mean that, man, at that level, to be competitive, to do well, dude, you can only do it for so long.
Yeah.
Before it starts to drop off.
Yeah.
There's physically, there's mentally no way to maintain. It's well, I'm not gonna say no way, but it's really hard to maintain at the upper level of it for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
Van Dam has just, he continues to amaze me because, it's interesting you say that because Ken Cook, Ken was, a really good friend of mine, and he said, he could like chart it. Once guys got past like the mid 40s, things just start. It just, you could look at their tournament performances and stuff just started to drop off.
Yeah.
But for Van Dam, dude, he's still,
steady, very steady.
So he's like the anomaly,
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But like everybody else,
yeah.
Dude, I'm sorry, but they put their underwear on one leg at a time. Okay. So for me, it was time to go do something else.
So you're saying KVD's on TRT? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm thinking there's some
KVD TRT.
Yeah, that's what I
there's something going on there.
HGH.
There's something going on there. I'm not going to say what.
Special cookies.
Yeah. Maybe something in the Michigan, in the Kalamazoo water.
Might be Kalamazoo cookies. I want to switch it a little bit, and you mentioned Ken Cook, and it's funny, we got Carl and Kayla on the couch, and I think of like some of the original guys that traveled together, like road warriors as a couple.
Yeah.
I think of Ken and
Tammy. Yeah.
I think of the Hibdons.
Yep.
You guys.
Yep.
You and Kerry. And now you look at these guys that are doing the same thing in a more modern era.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see that.
It is.
And you guys kind of started it, but give these guys advice, because I joked with them already. They're like the power couple on social media, right? Seriously, like people are watching you guys through social media, like, oh my God, look at this couple.
Right.
They got this amazing life, and they do. They really do. But you guys have been doing it for a long time. Do you have any advice to give to the modern version of you guys, of you and Kerry, 10, 15 years ago?
Probably the best advice that I can give anyone that's doing it is when it stops being fun, when it starts being a job, get the hell out. Go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
And you bring up social media. That is so. Imagine, if you and I could go back to like the mid 90s or late 90s when we started, if we had social media then,
different world.
What the hell?
Yeah,
man, it would be such a totally different world, because that on the bass fishing side, social media has completely changed the dynamics. Completely changed.
It's totally changed. It's totally new. Brian every other week tells me he wished he had Tinder back when he was young. So it's the same kind of thing.
That's because he's.
Look at the look.
That's because.
Oh no, that wasn't you. It was your ghost, Brian. That said that.
Because he's a sick bastard. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. No, but it is a and Becky and I got to engage in it a little bit, and it's an amazing lifestyle. And I want to just say something I saw, which I think is so cool because I can relate to it. you guys were at ICAST, and then you stayed in Florida for a little bit. You had left your rig here, your truck and boat, and you guys got back, and we kind of met. And we were in the office. We were busy, and I saw, like, out of the corner of my eye, Kayla, I saw you kind of go down to the truck where the truck was parked.
Yeah.
And the truck, they got this amazing Lance camper, and
Right.
and that's your home. I mean, this is what you live in. This is what you travel in. This is your thing. And Kayla, I saw you kind of hug the truck. I saw it.
Did you see that?
I saw that.
Oh,
you thought you were
yeah, I
all
thought
by
I was being
yourself.
stealthy.
But I saw you hug the truck.
That's my baby.
Tell me about that. It is,
It's
right?
my baby. It's home. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we are. Not a people don't know, but we are full time.
Full-time.
Full time truck, camper,
Yeah.
and boat. That's our house. Rue
Right.
knows that's her house. She's
Yeah.
protective of it. I am. He is. And even like the hotel thing, we went down to ICAST and we stayed in a hotel. And hotels are fun. I mean, it's nice to get out of it every once in a
Yeah.
while. But when we got back, we're like, yes.
Yes.
It's just nice. You get your
Yeah.
own space, your own stuff, and it's just yours. It's
Yeah.
home. It is.
Yeah. There's a ton of people. There's probably a ton of couples out there watching that want to do what you guys are doing. What would you tell them?
Do it.
Do it.
I
Go
thought you were
for
going to say, don't do it.
Don't do it. No, do it.
Grab
Go
them,
for
stay
it.
in school.
No, I mean, you get one life. Why would you not do everything you want to do?
Yeah.
You know?
But
Yeah.
Kayla didn't, like, the problem is people just see what we're in right now, and they didn't see that Kayla
didn't
and
see
I
all
was
that.
we slept an entire year in the back of my truck.
Right.
This is important.
Yeah.
I would
Right.
tell
It is.
everybody this.
Right.
This is important.
So when Kayla first come on the road, I was like, don't let the truck and boat fool you. I'm literally as broke as you can ever imagine.
It was
And
true.
she's
Yeah.
like, I don't care. She wanted to come. She's like, I just want to help. She wanted to help. And
Yeah.
we got on the road, and Kayla had no idea. She didn't know. Like 3 years ago, Kayla didn't know how to back a boat
Yeah.
into the water. And I told at Havasu, Van Dam and Skeet Reese were behind her, and she was pulled up the Havasu ramp, and I was in my boat, and she rang me and said, I'm here. And I said, you're going to have to back it in because you're parked, like you're in front of her. And she said, I don't know how. And I said, I'll tell you over the phone. And I told her, and that was I was like, left hand down, reverse, do this. And that was the last time I told her. And she backs better than anyone I know
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Dark, any ramp, Lance camper on the back, she backs in. So people it's cool that, like, the biggest story is just showing that we just started from the very scratch, and it's such
Yeah.
a
We
slow
built it up.
process. And
Yeah.
we went from the back of the camper, pure hell, broke, sleeping on a
of the
little
truck,
single mattress, just trying to grind it out, so we could pay the elite
Couldn't even
payments.
afford
Like,
a hotel.
That was it. And then bought this real old Lance camper because of our good friend Gene. He helped us out, like a 2010 old one, and then we progressed, and then Lance became a sponsor, and then they helped us, and now we're in the 1062,
Right.
and it's just that's a 3-year progress, but I'm here for 8, and before that it was 10 times worse. But
Yeah.
you just slowly work your way up, and now we just
Don't believe everything you see on social media.
Yeah, but we have a great life,
We
and
do.
we love it. But
We're super blessed to be able to do what we love every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Special.
But it's cool. I like that we've come from the roots and seen the bad stuff, and then we just appreciate
growth
everything.
process.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
it
growth
helps you
process.
appreciate every single.
Yeah.
But as much
thing.
as you guys are saying you admire us, we look at you and Becky and you and Carrie, and you guys inspire, especially Becky and Carrie. They inspire me more than anything.
yeah,
It's women, some women just think they just can't do much, and some men might hold you down, but you're so capable of
It's cool.
doing things, and I mean,
Yeah.
go for it, go after it.
I'm just going to tell you right now, if you need to know how to back a trailer up, an Elite Series wife,
Pretty good source.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
my wife is a hell of a lot better at it than I am.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Becky's
I'm
good
just
at it,
telling
too.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm just telling you, if you're like, a marshal or whatever on
Yeah.
the ramp, and you look in your rearview mirror and you see one of these wives,
Flag them down.
Get,
You just
get
need-
out of the way.
you just need to get the hell out of the way.
Get out of the get out of
'Cause
the
you
way.
don't know what
or
you're
let
doing.
them do
Just
it
let
for
them
you.
go on by.
Happy
That's right.
to do
Yeah.
it.
Just
Happy
get,
to do it.
because I can't tell you how many times I have been in the truck with my wife, and I can hear her over there, and she's driving, and I can hear her over there going, if you just get the fuck out of the way, I could back that trailer down for you.
That's right.
Okay?
Yep.
I'm just telling
Yeah,
you.
Leslie
heard
Martin
back.
will cut a fool.
Yeah,
Leslie
will cut him.
Leslie
will cut
will
him.
cut
Oh,
a
yeah.
brother.
She
See,
mean.
I'm not
Oh,
that
yeah.
bad.
She mean.
I
Carl-
call that rant bully.
Yeah, he calls me a rant bully.
A rant
I'm not a
bully.
rant
A
bully.
ramp bully.
But I'm like-
wow. I
Really?
like this terminology.
I like that.
I'm not a rant bully. I'm super nice, and I'm happy to do it for you.
If
But
you
let's
know
go.
to back a
Unless
boat.
you're
Yes.
in the way.
We got stuff
We
to do.
got to go. Come on.
Like, real quick, because I know Eric the intern's sitting back there, and I do want to get him in on a little bit of this show, big time. Talk a little bit about how you guys met, because Eric's hunting for love right now.
Facebook. No,
Hey, there's a
just
dude
jokes,
named
jokes.
Brian that keeps messaging us. Maybe you could talk to him.
How did you guys meet?
It was pretty much through Brandon. Everyone knows Kayla.
Brandon,
But Brandon
not
didn't,
his
didn't
sister.
know about it.
I'm his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
I'm
met
his
through
cousin.
Brandon.
Yeah.
I-
Carl had got a bunch of his stuff stolen out of his truck, and Brandon, being the great guy he is, actually bought him a laptop because he knew how big he was on marketing and social media
Yeah.
and stuff. So he went and did that, and Carl had thanked him through a Facebook post and tagged Brandon, and it showed up on my feed. And we added each other, and for a year, you went back and forth, kind of like your pictures type of deal. And I saw that he was at the Classic, and I didn't know much about fishing. I just knew the Classic was kind of the big deal, so I wrote him and I said, "Congratulations,
Good luck in the
you're
classic.
fishing the Classic."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, I'm working the booth." I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
sorry."
Yeah, that hurt.
But I mean, after that day, we talked every single day, FaceTimed every day for like 4 months, and just took a leap of faith. And
It's so
Yeah.
goddamn
4 years
adorable. I can't
later.
stand it.
Yeah.
That's a
I'm a
long
matchmaker
process.
if you want some help.
I'm good. I'm good.
Brian,
Eric
being
needs
angry.
help.
That's a long process, man.
Yeah, Eric. So when Brian's busting your balls and Dave's busting your balls about being on Facebook and Instagram every single minute of every day, just keep doing it.
New age.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
you're
Well,
from.
New
yeah,
age.
literally the
Lobbies.
dumbest thing
Take
you could have
advantage
said,
of
Mike.
the resources.
All right, this is Dave Broderick. This is a good time. I want to swap what we're gonna do.
Right.
Let's continue this movie theme, this movie script theme, and right now we're gonna have all you guys involved.
Actually, you want to swap it or you
I
want to
do
go,
want to
Kevin?
swap it. I want to swap.
All right, hang
I
on
want to do
then.
it right now because I'm feeling love right now.
I
I
got
actually-
love?
Yes.
I lost the other script. Becky took it, so I'm out of it.
No, we're gonna do a good one. We're gonna do.
You gotta
This
make
is
it up.
another movie script, and this is with Carl, Kayla, and Kevin in one movie. Same rules. You're gonna deliver the lines in your normal voice. You're gonna deliver the lines to this movie,
I don't know this
Okay.
one.
and I'll have to guess the name of this movie, the title of the movie. Okay, Dave, you tell us when. We're ready.
They're looking at the script. First actor,
First actor.
proceed
And
at
yeah,
your speed.
Yeah, and remember, you're seriously trying to make a Hollywood. You're trying to get the role here. So you're delivering these lines like you want the role.
So is
It's
this
your
like,
livelihood.
Is this like casting couch kind
This
of
is
stuff?
Yes.
yeah. This is the line delivery. Okay. And
Go
here we
for
go. Here we go. Dave, who's going first? They know who they're going first.
Kev.
Okay. Here we go. Okay.
Oh,
Can I get something for you?
cane fog wine show fire kung for.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Stewardess, I can speak jive. He said, he said he's in great pain and wants you to know if you can help him.
Tell him to relax. I'll be back as quick as I can with some medicine.
Just hang loose, blood. She gonna catch up on the rebound on the med side.
She, man. I ain't never phone fog wine.
She genuine, man. Chitlin down for Mole Shoal.
What is it, Big Mama? My mama don't raise no dummy.
Cut me some slack, Jack. Chump don't want the help. Chump don't get the help.
Tell me you got this, Mike.
I got it.
Come on, tell me you got this.
You really got it?
Come on, man. What is it? Give it up. Let's hear it.
It's Airplane.
Yes!
Yes!
I have
It's
never
Airplane.
seen
It's a
that.
classic. I love that movie. Wow. Good
See,
delivery.
man.
Great job, guys.
Good delivery, guys.
That was fantastic.
Wow. Man, that made me hot. I'm hot. Did the lights just get brighter? I'm hot all of a sudden.
They got a lot brighter.
God, I'm hot in here. Oh my God. Wow, it was good.
God.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Did you know that one or no?
No, I've never. No, I had no idea.
Wow.
Who's in this movie?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Dead
Oh,
is in
okay.
Yes.
movie.
O.J. Simpson was
Leslie
in it before
Nielsen.
he was a murderer.
Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie
Before
Nielsen.
he was a murderer.
Yes, before he was a
Before he was
murderer.
convicted.
Before the bloody
Yes.
glove.
Before the blade.
Oh, good heavens.
Let me remind everybody watching, hang in there with us. We're going to continue. Let's see. We're going to go probably another 30 minutes. We're going to go one more break. Yes.
Kevin has a PSA by his right hip.
Oh.
On the way out, he could actually give to the
hold
children
on. Let's
watching.
do it right now. Let's do it right now.
Has a what?
You have another. This is actually a PSA.
And you got to guess it, Mike.
Oh, right here.
On the flow, Kev Mo.
Okay. And this is the
I did
grand.
the
This
other
is the
one.
grand finale of
There's
our.
another one.
It's not. We have one more for the for
Oh,
the
we have
next
one
couple.
for the South Dance. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So I have to guess. What do I have to do on this?
You have to guess who this is.
I do have to guess who this is, but
And-
it's not a movie.
Action.
Now, as I was saying, drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs, okay? If you do them, you are bad because drugs are bad, okay? It's a bad thing to do drugs, so don't be bad by doing drugs, okay? That would be bad because drugs are bad, okay? What the hell is this?
You don't know?
Is it a movie?
It's on TV.
It's on TV.
So,
Oh,
South Park?
South Park.
Is it?
It is South Park.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Mackey.
Okay.
South
Mr. Mackey.
Park.
I don't watch South Park.
Only because of MK. That's the only thing I know.
Well, I didn't know if it
I
was
don't watch
that
South
or
Park
if it
either.
was Carl on Sling Blade. Drugs are bad.
Yeah, he was more.
You win that one.
Oh.
Okay, you win. Dave, we have any IMs coming through? Let me check the.
I mean, if you want me to hammer his legs and feet, we can do that all night. I mean, there's about 40 of them, dude. I mean, you can
Do I
find
need
us
to
on
shave?
Tinder,
Is that the deal? Is
username,
that
we
what's
F
turning
for
Put
you
some pants on
socks.
or something.
Let's see.
Yeah, there's a guy on here called Kevin Short's Feet.
All right, Kevin, we got one from Chris Delfonso, and Chris wants to know straight up. He said,
Straight up.
Ain't nothing straight up on this
Or
show.
straight away, as they say in Australia.
"That's right, straight away." He wants to know straight away. Let's see, Kevin. We know you're fishing the Delaware River Ike Foundation event. Are you gone back to Ullman's Creek?
You know, I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not.
It was really hard to get into last time. I mean, we've only got like what 6 or 7 hours to fish.
It's actually said they extended it 7.5 hours.
7.5 hours.
Yes.
So, I mean, that creek is to get where you need to be. It takes you about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to get back to where you need to be.
Right.
So, well, you know, for that short of a tournament, probably not.
Is that where you went in the elites or something?
Yeah, yeah, and I didn't. I mean, these guys knew where it was, but I'm like, dude, it's this creek down here on the map, man. I don't know where it's at.
Yeah.
And they were asking me what's the name of the creek, and I'm like, I don't even know if it's got a name.
Yeah,
You know?
it was interesting because I know all the local guys, the Delaware River guys, when they knew where Kevin was fishing, it was kind of like, you know what I mean? Because it was one of those fringe creeks that doesn't get a lot of pressure,
Doesn't get a lot of pressure.
and it has the potential to win. So a lot of guys were like,
It's a tough
"Holy
creek,
shit,
though.
somebody found it!"
It's
Yeah,
a tough creek.
Yeah,
it
25
can be
years.
tough.
I've never fished it once, dude.
Yeah, Brian, you've had some good days in there, and you've got burnt in there several times.
Yeah, I've got burnt there more than good days.
yeah,
Well, you know that's just, dude, that's tidal fishing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you know, the best creek on the system is not the best creek on any given day.
Right.
Especially tournament day.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
there's so many, any kind of river system, man, there's so many variables
Yeah.
that you can't say, oh, well, I'm going to go right here and catch them. Because, I mean, you don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just too much.
Too much.
So best Clun story.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that. Now this I want to hear. Everybody watching and listening right now, they know I'm a huge Rick Clunt fan. Have been forever, will be forever. Give me one, because I want to hear
right.
it. I've heard some good ones over the years, but I want to hear another good one.
I think it was the very first. It might have been the very first BASS tournament that I ever fished in my life. Was in I think it was in October of 1998. Okay, I actually signed up for one of the top 150 pro-ams down at New Orleans. At the Delta down there.
Yeah.
Okay. Sign up as an amateur. All right. So go out. You know, like the first day I fished with a Bass Cat guy, Mike Bingham. The second
Mike?
day,
Yeah.
second day I fished with Tom Mann Jr. That was a disaster. The third day, I got paired with Clunt.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and everybody, I mean, you know, like all the other amateurs that I knew that I was kind of like traveling with, they're like, oh my God, man, you got paired with Clunt. You're going to have like a horrible day, man. He won't talk to you. He's just, you know, he's just weird. He's a weirdo.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whatever. So, I mean, we take off in the morning and I mean, he's like I get in the boat with him. And he's like all chatty and everything, man. We're talking, you know, back and forth and everything. And then right before we take off, he turns to me and looks at me and he says, don't take it personal. But if I don't talk to you the rest of the day, I'm focused on fishing.
Right. He said that right before
He said that right before we take off.
Right.
Don't take it personal. But if I don't say another damn word to you all day, that's just the way I am. And I'm like, wow.
That's how Ike is.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
You used to do that at the Top Rod days.
So we take off. Hey,
I'm sorry.
STFU. I'm telling this story.
My bad.
Okay?
My bad.
So we take off. We run down to this lake, and he's fishing. Man, it was so cool because he's fishing, and he's fished for 3 days. This one freaking patch of grass. I mean, and it was a big patch of grass. Okay,
Yeah.
but I remember asking him, you know, when we got there, I'm like, you know, we're like idling up into it. I'm like, well, you know, have you fished here, you know, the last couple of days? And he's like, yeah, you know, I fished here both days. And I'm looking around and I'm thinking, wow, you fished here for 2 days and you've caught them? And it was a big patch of grass, but it wasn't that big.
Right.
So we start off like fishing around the edge of it, and we get a little tighter in, and then we start drifting across. We're fishing for about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, and he like gets the trolling motor like buried up in like this eel grass. I mean, gets it all wrapped around the trolling motor.
Yeah.
And then he pulls the trolling motor up, and he's got it like on high, and he hits the button. Okay. And grass hit me in the back of the boat. All right. Yeah. And he turns around and he's got like grass, like nasty brown grass from like head to toe.
In his hair.
In his hair, clothes. Man, he's got it on his clothes, his pants, everything. So, I mean, we've been fishing for like 15 minutes, and the master is like stripped down to his skivvies.
Wow.
I'm serious, man. He had to, because he had to get all this grass off.
He was naked.
So he's like stripped down to his underwear, washing his clothes off in the lake.
In the tournament?
In the tournament.
Oh my God.
Puts them back on and goes back to throwing his spinnerbait. What? And I'm like, nobody is even going to believe it.
Oh my God.
Just not freaking going to believe it. So, I mean, it was so cool because I had never sat in one place like that and fished an area.
Right.
And it was so cool because, like I say, we started out like way on the outside edge and would make a lap, and then we'd kind of move in and make a lap. And we're like, I mean, both of us are steady catching.
Yeah.
And then the wind started blowing, so he started like drifting across the middle of it, and we're fishing like the holes in the grass.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's got like the big motor trimmed up and the trolling motor pulled up, and he's just letting the wind drift us across, you know? And we do that 4 or 5 times, and then go back to going around the edge, and I'm like,
wow.
And we catch them all day long.
Totally camped.
Yeah. And I'm like, I had never never done anything like that before in my life. You know, I'd never seen the master, you know, in his underwear.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'd never
Boxers
stayed.
or briefs?
Boxers.
Boxers?
As a matter of fact, boxers. Yes.
Wow.
I was kind of surprised he had on anything.
Wow.
But he didn't have on boxers.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was just amazing to, you know, to stay in that one area.
Right.
And catch them.
It's cool.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
This is cool.
I've heard some cool stories over the years. I'll tell you the quick one that I know, and it's not a personal story, but it's from a good friend of ours, John McGraw. Drew him in a top 150 on the Potomac River.
Yeah.
It's an unbelievable story. He actually ended up, our buddy John McGraw fished, I think, 4 top 150s as an amateur and drew Rick twice.
Wow.
Like, what are the odds of that, right?
Yeah, what are the odds?
Drew him at Old Hickory and drew him on Potomac River. And on the Potomac River, you know, it's kind of the same thing. Got the speech, you know, I don't talk much.
Right.
John's like, cool, it's no problem.
Yep.
And they went in the back of Mattawoman, you know, not a big run.
Right.
And he camped again. He camped in one little section of this Mattawoman. And, dude, it was this beautiful sunny day, bluebird day. And Rick was catching a few, John was catching a few, and just focused, dude. He never stopped casting. John was so impressed with the fact that, you know, like, never broke for water, for food, to change baits.
Right.
One rod, crappie.
It was a Norman crappie.
Norman
deep,
crappie.
tiny end.
Deep tiny end.
Yep.
Crappie crankbait, just like a machine.
Yep.
Never stopped. Went the whole day till about noon, and all of a sudden it was like weird because even though there's no conversation, John noticed kind of out of the corner of his eyes, like Clun had stopped, and he stopped and he holding the rod and he's looking around, and like minutes are going past and he's not fishing. And it was just weird that he stopped and he hooked the crankbait, the tiny end on the rod. He put it down on the deck. It was the only rod he had. He put it down. He starts looking around again. And then he goes down and opens up a hatch and starts digging. And just John was like, man, this is weird. Like, what is he doing? Because it's so different.
Right.
And all of a sudden he pulls something out of the hatch and it's a rain suit. And he starts putting his bibs on, one leg, the strap, the other bib, the jacket, zips it up, throws the hoodie up, gets his crankbait, starts fishing again. John's like, what the fuck? He's looking around. There's not a cloud in the sky anywhere. It's a bluebird. There's no wind. 15 minutes later, pouring rain. True story. That's a weird, strange Rick Clun story from a good buddy of ours that happened on Potomac River. And that to me is him. That's pretty amazing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Crazy. Really weird, man. I've never done that.
I've had
not on that level.
2 little conversations with him just while I was on the elites, and one, he saw me walking past and he called me over and he was rigging in his boat and he wanted to talk about Australia and sort of said, like, asked about the barramundi and he's always wanted to go over there and still wants to go and stuff, and we spoke. It was really cool. But the other one was just in the tanks. He knew I was in a Lance, seen us in the camper, and he just started talking about camping, and I was just in that situation where we bought the old one. And he said if he didn't start camping, he was about to quit fishing. Like he said, he was this close to quitting fishing because he was doing the hotel thing.
Yeah.
And he said he hated every second of it, and he was either going to quit. Then he found the camping deal, and he bought the truck camper, and then away he went.
Wow. How about that? Rick's a cool guy.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. Brian Carpenter.
Dave wants to say something.
Dave, what do you got?
We got, let's see here. Man, we had Brian put me on the spot. The IMs are stacking up. So we got a comment from Mr. Mackey.
Mr. Mackey.
Mr. Mackey.
And he says, screw you guys, MK. That Daisy Duke wearing dude sounds nothing like Mr. Mackey, MK. Not even a single smidge, MK. Tommy B said, we've seen Master Short in his underwear all night. Biffle Short said, is Kayla upset that Kevin rated her short straw?
Hey,
Wow,
he
is that
said
where you
he'd
got him?
wash them and give them back.
That's right. That's right. He's polite. He washes everything.
He's a gentleman.
That's right.
Well done, Kevin.
That's a good cross section of our listeners right there, our viewers. It's a great cross section of who watches this show.
There's some jealous mofos. Out there. Just telling you. Oh, wow.
Hey, Mike, we have to announce a winner of one of our recent online giveaways.
Let's do that, Dave. Let's announce this winner, Brian the Carpenter. Let's take our last break. Oh.
No.
What was that?
False fire.
Fake news. Fake news.
Fake news.
Bunch of fake
That was
news.
fake news. Someone said fake news.
Yeah. It's fake news.
That's funny.
Brian the Carpenter, let's do that. Let's announce that winner of that contest where Dave got his new character.
Yeah.
Let's take one last break. Let's bring why do I keep hearing phones ring?
What is that?
I have no idea.
We have a soundboard we're working on back
No,
here,
it's
dude.
sound
That was a
effects.
real phone.
Does that sound good?
Yep.
BTC? Okay. Dave, what do we got? Winner of the... Eric, tell me a little bit about this contest we ran. It was a great contest. What was it? It was...
You know, Dave's had so many great characters over the years on Ike Live. We thought it was time for him
Right.
to finally get a
And
new
name
one.
some of them, Eric. What are some of Dave's great characters over the years?
I don't know. We got Hudley Crockett. We got Jark Meffries. We got, of course, Stormtrooper. We got Eric the Intern recently was one of his.
Right. Eric the Intern
He's,
character.
a very,
Brian's
very,
Ghost.
A very good one. Brian's Ghost.
Yeah.
Is there any more? Am I missing any?
Maybe. Stormtrooper.
I said Stormtrooper.
Okay.
Pretty good.
All right. So the contest was to get another character for Dave. And the winner, Dave, is...
What's his name, Eric?
Matt Schuta.
Matt Schuta.
That was, yeah.
Schuta.
Matt Schuta came up with the idea of
Matt Schuta.
Robert Stack. Anyone who knows who Robert Stack is, he was the guy with the amazing voice from Unsolved Mysteries.
Yes.
Ah. Yeah.
So, in honor of that victory, we have a little tribute.
All right. Matt Schuta.
A little loud. In a world gone cold, a bright spot in warmth surrounded by victory lies a mystery of a missing prize. Mystery, one might say, is in the confines of a tackle box, not to be shipped as promised. At the core of the missing prize is the wife of a fishing magnate and their Jeff Spicoli-like intern. Stay tuned for further developments in the case.
I
Wow.
have no idea who that is.
So we're saying Becky and Eric the Intern are responsible for nobody ever getting their prizes.
Well, I think what Robert alluded to is that they're probably not going to get their prize because of these two people. I don't know. I mean, I know last year at the kayak tournament, I won the damn oatmeals thing, and I don't even know what I won because I ain't got it.
You never got the oatmeal.
I don't even know what I got. Yeah, I won.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
I think Eric.
Congratulations, everybody.
Eric,
Congratulations,
congratulations to all our winners.
Yeah.
You're a winner in spirit, not so much as prize.
So,
I,
next
I think
time.
he's still a little butthurt about that too.
I think so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, no, not at all, man.
Yeah.
That's
Not
amazing.
even a little bit.
All right, Brian and Carver, we're going to take a break. Listen, everybody hang in there. One last segment of Ike Live tonight, and we've saved best for last.
Yes.
We've got the Zaldanes in the house with us. Trate and Chris going to come in and swap with Carl and Kayla. Hey, before we let you guys, though, go off the couch, though, Brian and Carpenter,
Yes.
for the few of our listeners of fans that live under a rock and that don't follow you guys on social
Best
media
follow on
already.
Instagram.
Absolutely
Their
the
life
best
makes
follow.
me jealous.
It makes me jealous
It's amazing.
too. Where can they find you? But give us your handles, both of them, because I want these guys to follow what you're doing, your escapades.
So mine's just Carl Jochimson, just my name. Facebook, Instagram, website, but Instagram, Facebook, the main two.
Same. Kayla Polonic on
And
both
then
of them.
And then Rue's kind of let us
Rue
down
is
tonight. But she's-
she usually is more lively than this.
Wow.
Kevin
Had
and
a big
Carrie
day.
have this Griffin
Wow.
and has just ran her dry.
Oh my
so
God, she did too.
she's
See?
pooped.
Wow.
They've been having
out.
fun.
Wow.
But Rue the Bass Dog. Rue the Bass Dog on
Yes.
Instagram. You can follow her too.
Wow. I don't follow
She's
Rue.
a
I
bit
need
Insta
to.
famous.
Yeah, she's got it. She's
Yeah.
got it. She's,
Wow.
She's kind of, it's gone to her
It's
head.
gone to
by
her
the looks
head.
of
It has.
I
Yeah,
see
she's
that.
a diva, apparently.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
obviously.
That's
Can't
the
hang.
life right there.
No, thanks for having us on. We
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you
so
coming here
much.
every time.
Thank you
and
guys.
Last couple of days
Yeah,
been
it was awesome hanging with you.
Yeah.
Awesome fishing with you.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, look forward to the next couple days too.
No,
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yep. We
Yeah.
appreciate everything you guys do and can't wait to fish the charity tournament. And
Yeah, it's gonna be
I
great.
love supporting it.
I appreciate
awesome.
it. Kevin, will you hang in there with us for a little bit?
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Okay, everybody, hang in there with us. When we come back, Chris and Traits Aldane. Be right back.